Hello everyone, this is Rakesh from first year of MBA Kristu Jayanti College. Today my topic is about the computer system. Computer systems are broadly divided into two categories of a hardware and a software. Hardware is a physical substance which we can feel and touch everything. And a software is an application based thing which we can't feel it directly. But the results we can see in the screen. There are two broad categories of devices in a computer system. One is an input device, another one is an output device. Input device is a device which takes input and then it's processed by a CPU and gives output on the output device, such as like if you type any data or any alphabets, uh, it will be processed by the CPU for the computer understandable language, and then it is translated to the human understandable language, and which will be showcased with the help of a monitor. And CPU act as a brain of the computer. Basically it operates all the function and divides the work all over the computer system. And software is the main application which runs on the PC to proceed with any kind of action. A different software is used for the different activity, such as a WordPress is used for the blogging and writing purpose. A recorder is used to record the voice. Even now in this meeting, we are in this video, we are using a recorder, basically a mic which is integrated with a software to record and process the audio and compile it with the video. And there's operating system which is used to operate a device, such as a laptop is operated by a Windows or Mac OS. Mac OS belongs to Apple and Windows OS belongs to the Microsoft. And there are many other operating systems such as Linux and Android also. And these specialized applications are used for the specialized function. So next is we'll talk about the storage system in the computer system. There are two types of storage device. One is a primary storage, another is a secondary storage. Primary storage is RAM. RAM is a volatile memory which only stores the data until the power is on. And the secondary storage is HDD or SSD, which stores the data even after the power loss. So basically, all the data are stored in the secondary storage, such as RAM or SSD, and only when the computer is on and it's processing the data or using the data, it will be temporarily stored on the RAM. As soon as the power cuts, the RAM loses the data. Here we talk about the role of computer system in IT and business. So they play a major role in IT. Basically, core principles are the data management, communications, and process automation. And data management can be done with the different application software which are used in the computer. And process automation is data can be only processed with the help of a software application should which is there in the PC. And its impact on the business are enhanced efficiency, improved decision making, global research, increased security and innovation. As we go into the digital world, the technology makes it more safer and more private and more convenient for a customer and the company, and it enhances the efficiency, which is the main point. Is a computer can do 100 men's work within a minute or within a second, and the decision making is very easy when you just enter the data what all you have and put it in a software, and it can organize it in a easier way or shortlist the data which is required. And it, as the computer system grows, it explores all around the world, and which gives a exposure all around the world, which will help us to understand the global statistics of what is happening around the country and world. Next, we'll move on to our other topic, that is, so here we come to our second topic, which is booting a computer system. The booting a computer system involves a power on self-test, which basically when you turn on your computer, the CPU, the central processing unit, first runs a program stored on the motherboard called the BIOS. This program first job is to power on the self-test. It quickly checks that all the essential hardware components like CPU, RAM, video card, keyboard are present and working incorrectly. The second step is BIOS initialization. After a successful POST or the BIOS continues its work, its main task is to initialize the hardware and look for a bootable device. It checks a predefined list of devices such as a hardware, SSD, USB drives to find one with an operating system on it. This is based on the boot order set in your computer setting. Next, we move on to the loading the bootloader. Once the BIOS finds a bootable device, it looks for a bootloader. The bootloader is a small program stored on the primary boot device, usually within a special area called the master boot record MBR. On the older drives or the GUID partition table, which is also known as a GPT on a newer drives. The bootloader sole purpose is to find the load the operating system. Next, we will move on to the operating system OS kernel loading. The bootloader's next job is to load the operating system kernel into the computer's memory. The kernel is the core of the OS. It manages the computer hardware, software, and it's a part of the operating system to load. OS initialization and service is the fifth step. With the kernel loaded, the operating system takes a full control. This is the stage where you typically see a loading screen with a Windows logo, Apple logo, or a Linux menu, depends upon your software. And the OS kernel starts up all necessary service, loads device, drives to communicate with your hardware, and launches a various background process that keeps the system running. The last step is user interface and login. Finally, after all the critical services are initialized, the operating system presents you with the user interface, and this is when you see the login screen. Or if you have a password, you can just enter it on the desktop, and the computer is now ready and for your use. Thank you. And the software which I used for this project are I used Copilot and ChatGPT for the content, and the rest I did the charts and flowcharts were made by the Canvas. Thank you. You're